Good morning, party people. So, since today it is pretty gray, bland, and overall not ideal conditions to be doing the photo work that I want to do, I thought I would hop on the computer and do a little Instagram Reels tutorial to show how you can get some nice cinematic Instagram Reels, how you can emulate other Reels that you see on Instagram. I think they're fun to make, and if you're interested in growing your Instagram, they say Reels are a great way to do it. So we will hop into DaVinci Resolve. That's the editor I use. There are a lot of videos on Instagram about, like, specifically on the Reels tab, of different tutorials using these phone apps to edit them and everything. I don't like to do that. I think if you're going to put in the time to film stuff or put in the time to take photos, you might as well use a real video editor if you have a computer, and DaVinci Resolve has a great free one if you don't want to pay for like Premiere or something, and it is the editor that I'm going to use. Okay, so we are in DaVinci Resolve here, and I opened up my Instagram Reels project file. What you're going to want to do is set your timeline resolution to a custom format, and that's rather than 1920 by 1080, you're just going to flip-flop it so you get vertical orientation, and it's going to be 1080 by 1920. The first thing, when I'm making a new one, I'm going to make a new timeline. We'll call this YouTube tutorial. Okay. So we have our blank timeline. For this tutorial, I think we'll use some footage that I already used to make a reel. We'll go with this kind of farm footage here. One look that I really like to go with is taking 3 normal horizontal clips and stacking them 1, 2, and 3 vertically, so you get this kind of trio of clips. And what I'm going to do is just stack 3 different clips to use on top of each other in the timeline, and we'll just make them all the same length here. And so for our center clip, I'm not going to do anything to it. I actually want it to be this bird's in the center. And then I want this second one here, which is some cows. I want that to be on the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to go up to my position, and under the Y axis, I'm just going to drag it down. And if you wanted to, you could do the math to find exactly where you want to put it. I kind of just guesstimate where it should go. And then I'm going to take this shed video here, and don't want to adjust the scale. We're going to just move that up a little bit. Now, if you did want the clips to meet perfectly and not have that little black bar in between them, you could up the scale on all of the clips just a little bit, and then they'll meet perfectly without having that kind of black bar look to it. But I like this, and I think it's really interesting what you get when you have 3 stacked on top of each other. And I like to do this to kind of introduce a location or introduce a scene. And then a lot of what I've been doing lately has been showcasing some of the photos that I've been taking. So what I'll do is I will grab some photos. So we have our photos in, and now is where you're going to want to have your song. Instagram Reels allows you to use regular music. You don't have to use copyright-free music. Same thing with TikTok, same thing with like YouTube Shorts. So what I've been doing for my audio to kind of make sure I'm lining up and cutting on the beats of the song is I will go on my phone and I will look for a song that I like, a song that I want to use, and I will just record that into DaVinci Resolve through my phone speaker and my microphone, and that's going to get me the song without having to go and like download it off the internet or anything like that. And I don't have to worry about trying to match it up on some weird phone app or trying to kind of cut the whole thing together on one of the social medias. Like, I don't want to go through and cut up my whole video, my whole Instagram reel on Instagram Reels. One song that I've been using a lot lately has been Casio by the band Jungle. So I'll just use that. And what I do is I act like I'm going to make a reel on my phone so I can get to the audio library that they have. And then I'll either look through my saved or I'll search it. And so we have on my phone, we have Casio Jungle at the top there. And I have my audio all the way up. And I'm just going to play that through my phone speaker into my microphone. And then that's going to be set up to record on one of the audio tracks on Resolve. So I'll go through here. I'm just going to add an extra audio track. It can just be a mono track. And then I'm going to go down to our Fairlight tab here where we get access to our audio. And I'm going to make sure that this channel right here has an input here. If I click on the no input under our audio track 4, we can click input. And then I can click on my microphone here. And then down here, I can click patch. And so that's going to patch my microphone over to audio 4. And so now that we have that there, we can click this arm for record. And now you can see it's picking up my voice through the microphone here. And what we're going to do is just play the audio track through my phone here. Okay, that'll do it. There is a part in there that I usually use that I like to use, so we have that. We'll go back to our main editing page here, and we'll listen through now and pick where we want our kind of audio track to start. All right, I have my audio clip where I want it to start here, and I just took these and dragged them out to the first beat that we're going to cut on. And now we'll just kind of scrub through our audio and kind of cut it to the beat here. So we have that all cut to the beats that we want it to land on. So I'm happy with how it's all sitting with the music, how it's cutting. Now I just want to kind of focus on the photos here. I don't really like how they look with these kind of black bars on all of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to create kind of a white border around all of the different photos. So I'm going to select all of my photos and I'm going to move them up one track here. And then under my generators on the effects area, I'm going to select solid color and drag that out. And right now this solid color is set to black. We're going to change it so it is white. So now our background on all of these is a solid white color. And we're just going to highlight all the photos, go up to our zoom transform, and we're just going to make them just a little bit smaller so they have a nice clean white border around all the photos. So then that changes it to look like that rather than the kind of weird black bars that we were getting. And I think that looks a lot better. So yeah, that is pretty much the base of how I would edit this Instagram reel. And that's kind of the ideas that I use when I edit any of them. First, I have my footage or I have my photos that I want to use. Then I kind of decide what style I want to emulate. If you find a reel that you really like, you can just break it down into what are they doing? What kind of footage do they have? Do they have photos? Are they doing any transition effects? So once you have the idea that you're going to roll with, you just bring that all into your timeline, find the song that you're going to use, record that into your audio track, cut the video to the song, however you plan on doing that. And then the final step would be to do a little color grading. And that's only if you have some footage that you want to kind of tweak. If you like the way it looks as is, you don't have to do that. If you are just using photos and you already have them edited, which you should because you're not going to be able to edit them very well in a video software, you should be ready to export. But I have these video clips here. I think they were filmed in the Eterna profile on my Fuji, which is kind of flat. So I'm going to go through and edit them just a little bit. But what I'm going to do is go to my effects, and I'm going to use this right here, this adjustment clip. I'm going to drag that to the top here. That way I don't have to do the same color grading to all of the clips. I can just do it to the adjustment layer, and it does the same thing to everything underneath it here. So we'll go over to our color grading tab. And what I'm probably going to do is pretty basic. I'm just going to find a LUT that I like. I'm not going to go through and, power windows and all that sort of crazy stuff just for an Instagram reel. I have these movie looks LUTs that I like to kind of go through. And I think I'm going to try this Mad Max one right here. Now, all of these are going to look way too strong when you're kind of going through them. This Hannibal one actually looks pretty cool. But just know that you're going to be able to dial this back, and it's not going to have that same strength once you finish with this. So I like the look of this Mad Max one. I'm going to drag that over to my node. And then with the node selected, I'm going to come over here to the key tab, and then this key output under the gain, I'm going to drag that way down. And as you can see, that affects how much the LUT is affecting the footage. So it's basically like an opacity slider. How much opacity do you want the LUT to have? And so I don't want it to be too crazy. I'm going to keep it around 5.5 or so right here on the gain. So about 50%. And then that gives me this look on the footage, which I think looks nice. It adds a little bit of extra color, a little bit of pop. If I want to, I can add a touch of contrast and just a touch of this color boost. And there we go. We have our final look there. And then we just go back to our main editor, make sure everything is as we want it. And then from there, we are going to export it. So we'll go to our delivery tab. So with the Instagram Reels, you're going to want to export the footage without any audio underneath. In Resolve, you just click on this audio tab, and then you click that export audio button right there. So you really only need to do this if you're not going to have any NAT sound coming through. I don't have any NAT sound from the actual footage being used. I'm just going to use that song that we chose earlier. And so I don't need to render out an audio clip that has a crappy recorded version of the song I'm going to put in anyways that came through my phone and into my microphone. So we can just get rid of the audio. We don't need to worry about that. I have the resolution set to 1080 by 1920, so it's going to give me that vertical look. The quality, I just leave it to auto. We'll just call this YT tutorial. So we have that. And then just export it wherever you want to keep your Instagram Reel exports. And then we would just hit add to render queue down here at the bottom and render. And so this is just going to render it out. Since I'm working on a PC computer, I use Dropbox to get it from my computer to my phone. If you're working on a Mac, you can just AirDrop it. That's definitely going to be the fastest way. So I'll hop on my phone here. I'll go to Instagram on my page, and then I'll hit the plus button, and I'll do create a new reel. And so from here, I will add my footage. So we'll make sure it's the footage that I want. Yeah, it looks good. All right, so we'll add that, and then we'll go to the audio. And then here is where I'm going to select the Casio by Jungle. All right, so now that we have our audio selected, we're going to go to the part that we want. So we started at the all right, let's go now. And what we'll do is we'll just preview this. So it looks like that's lined up pretty well. So we don't really have to worry about tweaking it. A lot of times I end up going back and then going to the audio, tweaking it a little bit, and then going back and checking just to make sure it's all lined up correctly. It's finicky, but I don't know of a better way to do it. And then once you have the audio lined up the way you want it, you can go through and you can tweak how loud, maybe your NAT sound is to your music. I just have the music. You can add effects if you want. The next thing to do would just be to write your caption, share your reel, and select your cover. But yeah, so that is how I go about from start to finish in the editing process for creating an Instagram reel. Yeah, I would highly encourage you to try out these Instagram reels. If you want to check out my other Instagram reels that I've done, they are on my Instagram, which is linked in the description below. If you liked this video, this tutorial, and would like to see more of them, leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to be notified when I upload more videos, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. And thank you. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.